Hey guys, what's up? Eddie Aho here with Kiss Analog. Guys, today I wanted to show you this little guy. I don't know if you noticed this on the bench. The lights kind of shoot up. It's kind of a light show. Someone mentioned that it has one microphone. Now it has two like little perforated inputs on the back, so I just kind of assumed it might have two microphones. I mean, although they're only spaced this far apart, right? So but it's just kind of a fun little thing. I'm going to put it up in the audio system upstairs, but for now I've left it here at the bench. Just kind of wondering if you guys, anybody ever notices it sitting here. And if maybe I'll leave it here. I don't know. Well, you guys, has anybody noticed that? Let's open it up. Let's look inside. I'm going to show you what's inside it, okay? So let's do that. All right, guys, I broke this thing down, opened it up. It's just two screws. The back plate came off, and it was a hex number 2 for my little wear kit. That's a nice little kit, by the way. I'll show you that in a moment. But yeah, we got our 2 LED bars and the glass pipes, and that's what it looks like looking into it. And I can see those long standoffs, so that means I should be able to push this thing through. All right, just pushed it through, and there is the board. All right, when we look at it, there's only one microphone. There truly is. Somebody mentioned there's one microphone, so I just had to take a look. And you know, those holes are close enough that it'd be hard to pick up or separate stereo sound, I think. But it's mostly just kind of a fun, light show. I don't think, you know, it's really meant to be left and right. I actually think they advertised it as a microphone input. Now, here's a microphone. It's on that purple board. There's some components on the back side. It says adjustable. It's a Max 4466. Well, I think I know what that part is. Look, there's some components on the back of the board. I see some ceramic capacitors, maybe an IC chip back there. I see some legs. Kind of hard to tell with the focus, but moving around, try to get focus on different parts. But yeah, it looks like different chips back there. And I think I see some legs from a chip. So here is the chip you can get on Amazon. I'll leave the link down below. It's very inexpensive. I think you get 9 of them or 7 for 10 bucks. Now here's the application note or the spec. And it is from Maxim, part of Analog Device now. And look, there's a typical operating circuit. Pretty simple, pretty basic. On the left, you can see it's a 5-pin chip. But yeah, this looks pretty basic. Some specs, scroll down. All right, now this looks more like the application circuit that this is probably built after. So we have a DC voltage level set from 5 volts being divided by 2 resistors. So 2.5 volts right there, DC. Has capacitive coupled input. It is a non-inverting input. It goes in the plus terminal. The minus terminal is referenced to the feedback. So it is 1 plus 100K over to 10K, but it has a capacitor, 1 microfarad capacitor to ground. So we have a low frequency roll off there of the input. And then on the feedback, it's 100 puff capacitor, so it's a high frequency cutoff. So yeah, that's pretty basic. But yeah, there it is. Here's the connectors for the light bars. There's 3 aluminum electrolyte capacitors for bulk capacitance storage. It looks like there's some, have to look a little closer. You know, we'll see if we can look under the microscope. Down between them, there is a transistor, maybe a voltage regulator. All right, we can see back there is 1117B. Okay, here's an example of one of the 1117B series linear regulators, one of the companies that make this. There's some of the figures there. All right, guys, here's a SOT 223 chip here on the right. And over here on the left, the typical application circuit, that's probably what we have because we don't see resistor dividers and all the components. This circuit's made very simple. So it's putting out 3.3 volts. There's some of the absolute maximum ratings, some of the performance stuff. Over here we see a microchip. And here is our STM32 processor with our crystal. Let's see what the number is. It's 8 meg, I think I saw it, 8 megahertz. So that's crystal oscillator. All right, there's so many STM chips. This is a 32F103 variant, and we have the C second column from the left, and we have the second one down is the 8, C8. All right, guys, I want to show you this data sheet real quick. The STM32F103 X8. So we have the C8, okay? So let's take a look at this thing. So here's the chip right here. And we come down here and we see it's a 32-bit Cortex M3 CPU. It's capable of 72 megahertz max frequency. And here's the memory, the 64 or 128 kilobytes of flash. But when we come down here, we see that it has two 12-bit ADD converters. I mean, that is super impressive. Okay, I want to show you something else. All right, guys, this is a table just showing the overview of this chip. And there's 4 columns because you got the T, the C, the R, or the V, okay? And then you can see all the communication ports, the timers, the GPIOs, the 2 ADD converters built in. I mean, it's just pretty impressive. But when we look at this block diagram, I mean, up here in the top left, you see the CPU portions of it. In the middle, you see the memory, the flash, and the SRAM. Over on the right, you see the power. And then right down below, the crystal, okay, where it comes in. So we got an 8 meg crystal coming in. It multiplies it 9 times to give that 72 megahertz. But you see all these different frequencies coming off. And there's a bus on the right coming down. And it says 24 to 36 megahertz. And we have timers and UARTs and I2C, all the different buses, CAN, USB, SRAM, all those things, right? Then over on the left, you see a bus. And this guy operates from 48 or 72 megahertz. And here's the GPIOs, all the inputs you can put in. There's kind of a, just above that, there's a power supply supervisory thing, power on reset, and so on. And then down below, we have timers and UARTs. These guys are operating a little faster bus. And then down at the bottom, the two 12-bit processors and a temp sense. So, I mean, it's just pretty crazy how much power you get into one of these little microprocessors. Now, this is a clock tree. I just want to show you how complex this is. You got the 8 meg clock. Now, actually, it comes in on this HSC port, 4 to 16 megahertz right here. It gets multiplied. It goes up into this whole clock system. And you got all these different clocks for the different timers, different outputs. You got, these prescalers and everything. You got an analog to digital converter prescaler down here, bottom right. Over on the left, you can see it comes down these different frequencies. And you got the main clock. Your PLL is how you get that multiplication of your 8 meg to your higher frequencies. But yeah, this clock tree, I mean, that by itself is a simplified version of a very complex system. So pretty impressive. So it's pretty cool that, and you know what, these pots are actually look like they're pretty nice little potentiometers, as well as the one in the center. So it looks like nice components. And backside is just bare. So some trace work. I don't know how many layers the board is. It's at least 2 layers. But yeah, pretty simple, but it's pretty fun. These metal knobs on the front, it's all aluminum on the outside. And yeah, I thought, it's just kind of a fun thing. I've had it here on my bench. I thought I'd just show you the light bar close up. It's got 3 connections on each side. It's got a via that looks like it might go through. But here's the LEDs and the trace work. I'll move it around a little bit so you try to focus on that. But there's 48 of these LEDs, full color LEDs. There you go. That's a good picture. And yeah, I mean, it's kind of crazy. They're all in series, of course. And it's pretty cool how they did this with only 3 contacts at the on the input. And it looks like there's a via going through, so I thought there might be 3 on each side. I haven't ohmed it, so I don't know for sure, but there you go. That's what they look like. All right, guys, so what do you think of that? That's pretty cool, huh? Have you noticed it sitting up here? Now, I did do a box opening where I showed all the functions. It's all aluminum chassis with glass tubes, aluminum knobs. It's nice construction, and I go over all the different light settings kind of quickly. I guess there's a bunch of different settings, and with the sensitivity and the delay, there's, man, tons of combinations you can do with that. It's really kind of fun to just look at. So I think I'll take it upstairs, put it with my audio stuff. Unless you guys like it there. Have you even noticed that? Let me know in the comments. So I'll put the link for the box opening where I go through the functions of that down below. And then also there's that microphone in there with all that circuitry to run the microphone. I'll put the link down below for that. I think you can get 7 of those cards for something like $9 or $12 or something like that. It's really inexpensive. They sell them in groups. I'll see the smallest group I can find, and I'll put a link down for that. But so basically it runs somewhere around $2 to $3.50 a piece, depending on the quantity you buy. But yeah, pretty fun, huh? And then the SDM processor has those 2 A to D inputs, analog to digital inputs, 12 bits, you know, like these scopes, 12-bit scopes. So really powerful, that low STM chip. It can, I mean, that board is sparse, right? It had that chip, a voltage regulator for it, and the microphone board. I mean, man, that's kind of crazy. And then those 2 sticks with the 48 LEDs on each one, so 96 LEDs total. That's a lot of LEDs. So yeah, I mean, just the price and all those LEDs, I don't know what they cost, but I can imagine, you know, just anyway. So I'll put the link for that and the link for the microphone. And hey, happy St. Patty's Day. I hope this video comes out in St. Patty's, but I had some technical difficulties. So if you like the video, really appreciate a thumbs up down below. Just hit that thumbs up button. Free way to support the channel. And I'm looking at my KPS meter. It matches me. It's my St. Patty's meter. It's been sitting on the bench. It's been kind of a go-to meter. This KPS meter, it's such a nice meter. It has an auto setting. Anyway, I'm kind of getting sidetracked, but yeah, it just, I mean, you don't have to hit a button for the backlight. It just has an auto light sensitivity. So pretty cool meter. I'm kind of a tech geek, I guess, just like all the cool stuff. But yeah, I have a lot of meters, a lot of nice meters, but that one's been fun. It's a lot like the 189 in all the functions, and it has the Bluetooth, and it's like an updated 189 kind of. So I guess maybe that's why I like it. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Happy St. Patty's Day, and hope you liked the video. I thought this would be a fun video for St. Patty's Day, just to look under the hood of something maybe simple like that. Just, I was curious what was in there. One of the commenters said that there's only one microphone. I thought, let's take a look. So let me know if you like that. And 2 big thumbs up to Danny for being a team member on YouTube, and all my other YouTube members. And also 2 big thumbs up to my Patreons. You can become a patron. Links down below. I really appreciate that support, helping this channel keep going and helping me so that I can keep the channel going. I appreciate that, guys. Thanks so much for watching the videos, and we'll see you next time.